mercy.
You know another guy named Mike. So you check out my main man Mike King Biz. Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Sports 106.1 on the mic with Mike. Entertainment Business Talk Radio. Starting to irritate me.
On the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. You heard it, champ. We are the best because we get the best guests. In studio with us, we have Rebecca Mann and Shawana King of Uniquely Diverse on the line with us. I've been wanting to talk to this lady for a long time because I always heard about the Greater Richmond Partnership, didn't have a clue what they did. I just heard they did big things, and you see their names popping up. So we got the person who makes the decisions, who runs the organization. Jennifer Wakefield, welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Excited
All right. You got to tell us about, I'm just a humble talk show host, minding my business, and everybody's talking about your organization. Let folks know who you guys are and what you do, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff.
Okay, awesome. We are the lead regional economic development organization for the city of Richmond and for the counties of Chesterfield, Hanover, and Henrico. And so what we do is we work to attract companies who are not currently located here from outside the market within targeted industry clusters. And we do that by providing in-depth market data, marketing the region, and generating quality economic opportunities.
So you guys are hitting some home runs. We just had Anthony Romanello. Shout out to Anthony and the folks over at EDA. Chesterfield is killing it too. You guys are hitting some home runs with the things that have come down the pike. You guys had some real major wins. Let's talk a little bit about some of the wins that you're like, yeah, we pulled that one off.
Well, and we don't do anything by ourselves. And some of those are purely just because our partners have been doing a fantastic job recently and at all times. So recently the city had two really big announcements, Granova and then Adatext Therapeutics. In Chesterfield, they had Carvana. Hanover had Lowe's. And then, of course, we have the Amazon, almost mega project with 1,000, right?
Yeah.
So when you're out there, you are the champion for the region. Let's give our listeners an idea how you sell a region for those folks to come here and bring their business here.
Well, we really try and talk about, the region's strengths, right? And our region has a number of strengths. And what we're trying to do is try and corral everyone onto the same page for trying to talk on the same set of talking points for the region. First and foremost, we have a very strategic location. We are centrally located at the midpoint between Maine and Miami. You can reach, almost half of the U.S. population within 2 days drive, or you can reach at least half of the U.S. population within 2 days drive. And so we're very, very centrally located, only 45-minute flight back and forth to New York. If you need to hop in the car or take the train, you can do that too, and you can make it within half a day. So that is an absolute great advantage for us. It can also be a disadvantage for us as well, because we are located right next to so many things, right? And so it's great for residents who live here because you can take a trip up to DC, you can go to Research Park, you can go to the mountains, you can go to the beach. Where it becomes a disadvantage is because we are so close to DC, we are so close to Research Triangle Park, we are so close to Hampton Roads that sometimes we're overlooked. And that's because those other markets tend to get a lot more information out about their communities. And we haven't done as good of a job as a community in talking about our advantages. And so what I would tell you is some of the other advantages are the fact that just the sheer number of companies that are here, we have a very strong business environment. We have 11 Fortune 1000 companies that are headquartered here. That is atypical. We're a market that's only 1.3 million people. And so to have 11 Fortune 1000 companies headquartered here is absolutely fantastic. The only other community that's about our size that has that is Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
And so that is fantastic. Yeah, no, that is wonderful. And so if you look at the industries that are here, we're a very diverse industry. We have, of course, great targeted industries that we have, but there's no one industry that outshadows the others. And I think that is great from a when we go into, a recession, or if there's some challenges, right, then it's good because we are diverse, right? We have targeted industry clusters who are, these Fortune 1000 companies. We have healthcare, right? We have, IT. And so by having a balanced economy, that helps us when we do have tough times. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't give us one industry that we can tout all day, every day, right? Like, so Nashville has healthcare, right? RTP has research, right? And so that's part of why we're trying to figure out who we are, because we are good at a lot of different things. And there's not any one thing that tends to stand out more so than the others. So advantage, but also an area that I think we can work on. From a selling this community to corporate executives, they want to make sure that it's a great environment for talent. So we are a very strong talent magnet, especially in the younger workers who are Gen Z and millennials. Chamber RVA has a fantastic program to recruit even more of that really great young talent from throughout the state.
Yeah.
And so, we are attracting people in those demographics. We've got a, artsy and foodie, great region that's here. And we have an active lifestyle, and we're a very diverse market, as far as the people that are here. And I think that is probably our number one strength, the diversity that is found in this market.
And when you say diversity, I'm just like, wow, because that's actually what Uniquely Diverse, our nonprofit, which is a 501(c), is actually all about. And, since the beginning of the pandemic, having our boots on the ground and supporting businesses when no one knew what the heck was even happening, right. So when I'm hearing diversity, my question, though, that I would have for you is, how does your business or your company really see diversity? Because diversity can be in so many different ways. I love how you're seeing the industries, how diverse we are in industry. And I think that's awesome, especially for as a staple here in Richmond. We're known for that, right? But in regards of when we hear diversity in 2021, there's a number of different things that are triggered when we hear diversity in business. Mm-hmm. So what is it that, how in depth does your organization or company really look at that diversity portion?
Very much so. So, right now, of course, there is an emphasis on DEI efforts, right? And those are playing a real role in what companies are referring to as ESG, kind of overall environmental, social, and governance. And so companies, especially in this last year, have realized that everyone needs to do more in this area, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And so we've been looking at the analytics and the research of who's here in this market, right?
Sure.
Especially because companies want to make sure that they're not just hiring the same people that they've always hired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not going about the same ways. And so what we've been doing is looking at our population and looking at it, especially from a race perspective. How do we compare to Virginia? How do we compare to the US?
Sure.
How do we compare from our K-12 educational system and our higher ed our higher ed system? What we can tell you is that based on the data that we've crunched, we are the 13th most diverse MSA with over 1 million population in the US.
Wow.
Come on.
Right.
So let me ask you this right here. When you're out there, pitching the areas, who's the competition that you kind of line up against it? Like, who fits, in the same ballpark that you go up against with time and time again?
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult to say exactly, here are the top 5 communities, because it depends on the targeted industry clusters that we're going after. Mm-hmm. What I can tell you is that even though they're really close, we weren't competing with Raleigh to the extent that we are now until they were listed as one of the top 20 communities for the HQ2 project for Amazon. But Raleigh is the bane of my existence recently. We are competing with them on almost every single project, right? And part of why I talked about the location being an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time is because, right, we now have Amazon's HQ2 just to our north, and we now have Apple's East Coast headquarters in Raleigh just to our south with 3,000 new jobs, right? And so we didn't get either one of those projects because our market is not large enough to handle the sheer number of employees. However, we're perfectly situated right in between the two of them.
Okay.
There you go. Mike King, ESPN Richmond 106.1, here with the ladies from Uniquely Diverse, Shawana King, Rebecca Mann, and they're radio talk show hosts. And when can people find you guys?
They can find us every Wednesday on 105.3 The Choice at 2 p.m.
That's a shameless plug, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We got Jennifer Wakefield here from the
Awesome.
Greater Richmond Partnership. So, madam, you talk to a lot of people, and I always ask people, what's the word on the street? When people are talking to you, what's the mood out there?
Things are amazing right now. The pipeline.
Things are on fire right now.
Things are absolutely on fire. So we look at things like Chief Executive magazine puts out a monthly index of CEO confidence, off the charts in April, multi-year high. Took a little dip in the May timeframe because of the supply chain concerns. But at the same time, the Federal Reserve of Richmond, the Federal Reserve Atlanta, and Duke University partner on something called the CFO Index, surveying what chief financial officers think about the economy. They are also seeing very positive momentum. And so right now, our pipeline is absolutely full. We have projects kind of coming out of our ears. All of our local partners, including Anthony, are very, very busy right now. And that is really great. But we have a challenge in that, that's what's in the funnel, right? A marketing or a sales funnel. What our challenge is that there's not much of a perception of this market outside of this market.
So we need to definitely, when we go out, we need to be sharing more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
When we visit the markets surrounding, when we go out to Miami, other different states, even surrounding, to let them know what's available here. And for us, it's only beneficial if we're talking to the one who can make the decisions for the company. Yeah. So because of that, we certainly need to partner and funnel those executives over to your business, because that's what we do. We connect businesses to resources.
But in talking about the connection, I have to ask, because I heard what you said, you all compete with Raleigh. And to me, Raleigh and Richmond are heavily populated by African Americans. So what is the take on Black businesses and opportunity in, the oil industry and all those things, or companies that are coming or bidding for opportunities to come to Richmond? And if so, how did they find out about it?
Yeah. So we've been looking at what we can and what we should do in that area. I can tell you, I've been here for 3.5 years. I relocated from Orlando, and we had a specific effort to recruit minority-owned, minority-led businesses to the market. That's been something that we've been having a discussion about here. How can we do that? How can we ensure that this is seen as a friendly environment for all minorities? Right. That had been a concern for us, especially with the extensive media coverage of last year and Richmond. In June alone last year, there were almost 80,000 stories nationally and internationally where Richmond was included. The word racism was in about 30,000 of them. The word monuments was in, I think, 60,000 of them. Richmond was in the headline 8,000 times, and that was in June.
Right. Can I ask you a question with that? And those numbers are alarming. But then you get on the other hand that they were talking about, like Dr. Casey and Eric Terry and those guys and Jack Berry, that Richmond is so high on the list for places for people to want to come to worldwide. So obviously in the news, people were saying those stories, right? But on the ground, people are still saying, hey, we need to come to Richmond. And that's a funny, opposite of sometimes what the news is saying.
It is, and it can be. What I can tell you is that last summer, we had several African-American executives who had asked us if this was a friendly environment. Right. And so that was alarming. And so we want to show that this is, we don't want to be Pollyanna about this region, but at the same time, we want to show that this is a great environment for diverse business leaders.
Awesome.
All right.
I guess my segue was, we should talk offline about an opportunity to provide diversity awareness, trainings, opportunities for organizations. Maybe that you're partnering with, Jennifer, but we can talk.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. This is kind of like Love Connection. That's what this program. That's what this program is. The idea of it, how business can help society be better. We're not here talking about the markets for the most part. And that's what every day we give business owners and nonprofits a chance to talk about what they do, what people are doing. So it's not, that's why I sort of believe in the whole social enterprise, as my wife would call it, Pollyanna, you know, like, okay, Mike, get off the Pollyanna thing. I'm not getting off it. I'm not getting off it. We're riding this one. Business can help society be better. And that's what we believe here every day. Mike King, Jennifer Wakefield here with the Greater Richmond Partnership. What you guys got new and exciting coming down the pike that you could give our listeners an idea about?
Well, so one of the things is we just finished some perception research because we wanted to find out what's going on and what kind of impact did last summer have on the perceptions of those who are making these executive level decisions on where to locate their businesses. And so we talked and we coordinated very closely with Richmond Region Tourism, with Chamber RVA, with Venture Richmond and Retail Merchants Association. And we all had several different streams of perception research going on, and we still do. We finished our perception research. We decided to wait until after the election because we figured things would temper down. Then once that happened, we said, okay, let's wait till inauguration.
Okay.
And so we waited. So in February, we did perception research of
Can you stop for a second?
Yeah.
What the heck is perception?
I don't know, but I'm like,
what the heck is perception research?
And I'm hearing her as the CEO of a company, myself and Miss Shawana Kingston beside me. Yes. How do I perceive everything that's happened? I mean, I did this exact thing as a leader in an organization. How are my employees feeling, their families, about the things that happened? And I know we're particularly talking about last summer in George Flood, that whole situation, it was right in your face. So you have to address that as a leader. How is this going to affect if I move to Richmond? Like she said, it was in there 60,000 times. So is that a good place for us to go with my company? Am I going to serve everybody that lives there? Is every single constituent, you know, community resident, whomever that's in the greater Richmond area from Henrico, Goochland County, all the way down to Petersburg, are they going to benefit from my company being there? And if so, what can I do to make sure that's happening? That's important.
That's why I have a radio show, because I'm going to walk out of here like, man, I'm going to drop that on somebody in a conversation. And hopefully they won't press me on it.
Well, and it's interesting because we actually hosted an amazing art auction here in Richmond to pour money back into Black and brown communities. But we did research first. And it was actually from the surrounding companies all downtown and asking them, what do you want to see more of? But we heard people were afraid to host events because of COVID. And what does that look like? And so thank you, Lord, we were able to show businesses how that can be done in a safe environment. And to the point where now people are doing more things and people are getting vaccinated and the fear of COVID's going down, of course. So, you know, things are looking great for Richmond here, but thank you for doing the perception research.
On the mic with Mike, Jennifer Wakefield, Greater Richmond Partnership. Jennifer, can you hold for a moment? We have to go away and pay some bills. I always say the microphone ain't free. Plus my grandkids need stuff, especially my granddaughter, Isabella.
Isabella.
Yeah, I'm still working on bribing her.
Skittles does a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying. I was, you know, I took her to a, spree at the $5. I love the $5 store, Five and Below.
Oh yeah, me too.
And
Dollar Tree,
Grandpa, she calls me Scampy, so I was like a hero coming out of that store. On the mic with Mike, best business radio program around. That's the business side of this stuff. We'll be back on the other side really shortly with Jennifer. Thanks.
That's how we came up, Mike, though, because we used to get the dollar and go to Dollar Tree and think we was winning. Now they go to Five Below, because Nala do that too. I go in Five Below, you spend $50. Yay, I got all this stuff.
But now they got the $10 stuff there at the $5 store. I'm like, how do you do that?
You still winning though. She come out with bags. She come out with her bag. She'd be like, yes. That's so cool.
I would really love to connect with you afterward.
I think she's talking.
Oh no, I'm talking to y'all.
I see you moving. Let's go. I got another one in the garage.
You need to write them.
The music, oh yeah. Man, I was up late. I got a list. Yeah. I'm still dancing.
Kim, how much time we got left after this?
We are going to have 5 minutes.
Oh.
That's balloon.
Let me call her.
And we're gonna do the weather.
Economic Development Authority is proud to sponsor Biz Wednesday. The contributions of our diverse entrepreneurs power our company. So we're thrilled to support a program that shines a spotlight on their businesses. If you want to learn more about how we're creating a more inclusive business community, visit Henrico.com.
Don't put no Band-Aid on the Henrico County now.
Find out how we can help business owners.
I hear what y'all saying.
Connect with the opportunities they need to succeed. It's here for you. Discover more.
What's that about there?
Did you know Henrico offers a variety of economic incentives to help you start and grow your business?
But y'all really don't. But they really don't.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean that in a positive way. Because you know what I learned, Mike? It's the people that's in the job.
It's like the military.
That was a hard lesson I had to
You
learn.
don't ask the general what's going on, how things are going. You don't ask them because upper management, they got an agenda. You ask the boots on the street, like, yo, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they can get away from the powers to be to tell you.
Yeah. Oh. Make sure I tell her that.
Just
So I
stop.
get my free dessert. My birthday tomorrow, Mike.
You 22?
41.
21. Man,
I'm going to MGM tonight.
I was in the prime of things when I was 40. I was so long
That's how I
ago.
feel. Look at that.
No, I ain't doing that.
That's how I feel.
I am not doing that. I pull a muscle.
That's what I can do. He said he was in it. I was like, yeah, that's how you do
That's
it.
what you're gonna be doing. Her birthday tomorrow.
I know, Lord have mercy.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm tired. Mike, I'm tired.
Can you hear? Can she hear? Can you hear us? Oh, you hear us? We crazy, but we're good.
I still got it though, Jennifer. You saw that, right? I still got it.
She doing MC Hammer, Jennifer.
See, I was telling you it's because
That's the most I can do. My knee kind of hurt.
You're hearing it there. So the recording, it's not being recorded.
We are so gonna connect. Oh my goodness.
Did you hear it on the
radio? Do you do virtual? Can we come by? Can we set up an in-person or will you want to do Zoom? Okay.
Yeah,
I can hear us. Okay. All right. Y'all gotta stop talking. I gotta do radio.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
On the mic with Mike back. We'd like to thank our weather sponsor, Cena Hospitality, good friend Ravi Patel. He was here and had a good time with Tim. So today's weather, 90 degrees, partly cloudy skies, high around 90. Like I said, winds north out of the northwest, 5 to 10, humidity 52%, UV index 9 out of 10. The sunset this evening is at 8:21, 90 degrees. I'm from Pennsylvania. Oh no, here we go. We're on the way to no man's land. Wait, touch base with me in about October. On the mic with Mike, we are back with Jennifer Wayfield. So at the Greater Richmond Partnership, Shawana King is here with us. Rebecca Mann from Uniquely Diverse. Jennifer,
Hey.
Can I ask you? So a lot of times people on the ground think that there's competition, but by talking to Dr. Casey and Chesterfield, Anthony and John from Henrico, talk about when you guys pool the partnerships to go out there to get the big things. And we talk about that. So we had Leslie Haley on a couple weeks ago, and she talked about, getting people in and they sort of find where, the location that's best for them.
Absolutely. And so we have very strong partnerships throughout the region. In fact, right before this meeting, I was on a Zoom call with our local partners. So I was on the call with the city and with Chesterfield, Hanover, and Henrico. And we were talking about the big fish that we're going to go after next and who we're going to chase after within those targeted industry clusters. As companies are looking to make these decisions, they look at the region and the state level first. They're not looking at an individual locality. It really doesn't come down to an individual locality until they're trying to identify a particular piece of real estate.
Gotcha. All righty, really quickly, how can people find you out there and all the great things you're doing?
at grpva.com.
Alrighty, you're part of the family now. When you guys have the word to get things out, remember us, give me a shout, let us know, and we'll help you get the word out.
Awesome.
Will do.
On the mic with Mike, Jennifer Wakefield, Greater Richmond Partnership. Ma'am, we'd like to thank you for your time. Take care. I'm sure these ladies
Pleasure
are being,
meeting you.
these
We're gonna
ladies,
talk.
of
very
course
soon.
they
I would love to.
I'm so excited to have met you.
I don't know how they got in. On the mic with Mike. Thanks now. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.